Did you know that 70% of extra virgin olive oil is fake?
This olive oil is fake. This olive oil is also fake. And this one too. I'm on a mission to find out what makes a good olive oil and how to spot the fake ones from the real deal. I'm travelling to an olive oil farm to get some insight. Wow, what a beautiful place. I really didn't expect this.
And just to make it clear, this video is by no way sponsored by Cockatoo Grove. I tasted it once and the freshness just blew me away. So I gave him a call and here I am.
Let's find out how this beautiful olive farm originally started.
So I said to my wife, we're going up to Cobram to have a look at a property. And she said, what for? I said, it might be a nice opportunity to do something different. We could put olives in there and make olive oil. So then we decided then to go into the olive oil business without knowing anything about it.
Imagine that, starting a whole farming business without any prior knowledge at all. Now that takes a lot of courage.
So then we travel overseas, into Italy and particularly, have a look at what they're doing, looking at olive processing plants and how they manage the system. So then we progressed further. We bought 20,000 olive trees and planted the 20,000 olive trees. And we had our first harvest in 2001. We have our own processing plant, so we made the olive oil on the premises here and then started to get into the marketplace.
Okay, Tim, so how do you make a good olive oil?
The harvesting process starts with getting the olives off the trees, which is done automatically using two dual machines. One half of the machine is a shaker and vibrates the tree. The olives fall off and they fall onto a canopy, and that canopy then allows the olives to fall down into a collector, and that collector then the olives travel along a conveyor, up the elevator and into the bins. And each bin holds roughly 450, 500 kilos. And when a bin's full, bin drops off the back of the machine and an empty bin gets advanced to then collect more olives as the harvester goes along. And then the guys from inside the shed bring a forklift out, lift up the bin, weigh it, and then as soon as they're weighed it, they lift the bin up with a forklift and they tip it into the hopper. And then from the hopper, the olives are then automatically up a conveyor through a defoliator. The defoliator takes off the larger sticks and twigs and leaves, and the leaves and sticks and twigs are blown out into a big trailer bin and get spread out on the farm later on as mulch. The olives from the defoliator then go down into a wash. And from that wash, they then go up through another auger into a secondary wash, and that secondary wash and shaker helps remove the little sticks that are sitting off the top of the olives, where the olives have connected to the branch, and then from there through a little wash and then down into a big auger and up into the crusher. The crusher's got two rotating discs that rotate against each other inside to smash up the olives, pip, everything smashed up all together. And that paste then is pumped into an initial malaxer, and then from the initial malaxer it's then pumped into 4 parallel malaxers, and each malaxer holds about 500 kilograms of fruit. We then have them in the malaxer for about 45 minutes. During that period the malaxer's got a big stainless steel screw that spins slowly. In that time the oil is extracted out of the pulp, and over a period of, I guess, 45 minutes, you look inside the malaxer, you can actually see the oil starting to float on the top. And then after 45 minutes, and that's at about sort of 28, 30 degrees or thereabouts, so it's not turned up and hot as such, and there's nothing added to that. That's, I guess, what's called cold processing. So you talk about olive oil being extra virgin first cold press, where one press, the paste then goes into the malaxer at about 28, 30 degrees. It's considered to be cold pressed, so the temperature's not really wound up to sort of 50 degrees or more to really drive out more oil. And you know, that does happen in other manufacturing processes, but obviously not with ours. So after it's in the malaxer, it then gets pumped out of the malaxer and into a big centrifuge, and that centrifuge separates the solids from the liquids. The solid waste, which is still quite moist obviously, is then pumped out into the back of a big dump truck. And then when that dump truck is full, we then drive that off and we spread out the solid waste onto the farm, so it goes back into the ground as organic matter. The liquid, which is at that stage a mixture of oil and water, then goes into 2 decanters, and these decanters then separate the oil from the water, and the water goes to waste and again out onto the property, and then the oil straight from there into the storage tanks.
In order to be classified as extra virgin, an olive oil needs to meet certain quality requirements, and those requirements are not cheap.
You'll see some olive oils advertised as pure olive oil or light olive oil. Those olive oils quite often will have been processed at higher temperatures or had chemical extraction to extract the oil. So just because it says pure olive oil doesn't mean it's extra virgin olive oil, and the extra virgin olive oil is the oil that's met a standard for free fatty acid content. So that is the premium oil, so it's got to be extra virgin.
Does it say smooth or buttery, or does it say light? That's a signal it contains refined oil.
Light olive oil is a name only. It doesn't mean light as in it's light fat or light health. In fact, quite often it's the reverse.
Okay, so let's fly back in time to Italy and speak to an Italian boutique olive oil producer. So I've come to Italy to talk with a local olive maker, producer, about what makes a real natural olive oil, because I think the consumers out there need to understand that some of the big companies are cheating you by adding additives and cheap oils, and what you're reading on the packet is not, or on the bottle, is not really what you're getting. Can you explain what makes a good olive oil, and how can you tell if it's real or not?
When you buy cheaper extra virgin olive oil is not true, because our cost of producing is correct. Yep. It's really expensive, and we have the same cost, or we have a good season or not. After you have many parameters for understand a good extra virgin olive oil. You can put inside the refrigerator the oil, and you can see the separation of the vegetable fat. The quantity of the vegetable fat inside determines the quality of the extra virgin olive oil.
So you put it in the fridge, and then it sits hard like a butter.
Yes, yeah. Yes. More material like butter you see.
The more butter, the better the oil.
Absolutely. Or the quality of the oil is more high. More material you see, more the quality is high.
Adulterated olive oil has become big business for the mafia. Fake olive oil is made by taking a cheap seed oil and adding a few drops of chlorophyll and some beta-carotene. It's like a powder. They mix it all up and it looks green and smells like olive oil.
Few money probably is not true oil.
Because it's expensive to make.
Yes, it's absolutely expensive.
Cold pressed.
Absolutely.
Talk about the cold press.
Yes, for make extra virgin olive oil is necessary respect 3 best things: the maturation of the fruit, the time for pick the olives, and in Italy normally is from the end of September to the end of November. For cold press, I intend to work under 27-25 Celsius degree. Just one press. Just one press is important, because today is possible we have the opportunity to produce, when we produce extra virgin olive oil, to work just with mechanical process. We don't need chemical for extract the oil. This is the most important things. We lose quantity when we work with cold press, but the quality is really different. You can keep the oil for a long time.
So when companies like even big Italian companies buy or manufacture olive oils and buy the olives from other countries.
Absolutely, yes.
You're saying that it's not going to be a good olive oil?
No, absolutely not, because these olives arrive, not because in Greece this olive is not good, but because these olives travel for a long time. You understand me?
Understand.
And you know, after the picking start the fermentation, is necessary press the olives in 12-18 hours from the picking, not more.
So under 18 hours you have to press the olives, and if they come from another country they're going to travel a lot longer than...
Yes, it's impossible.
So what happens to the olives if they...
Start the fermentation, and you lose the quality. You warm the product, okay?
Yeah.
During the fermentation.
Right.
But the extra virgin olive oil is a medicine, you know. You understand me?
I know medicine, yes.
And for keep the property is necessary work really fast during the harvest.
There's only 3 healthy oils that you should use. Extra virgin olive oil, of course, avocado oil, and coconut oil.
We decided to convert the farm to an organic status, but it also improves the soil and the country in which we're farming. Farming organically, I think, is certainly a really good thing to do. And a really good thing for the environment. We have some of the finest cherries, peaches and pears and oranges in Australia grown around here. So the soil is very high quality. The result comes from what's in the soil, and only human beings can change the other 20%.
Unless something is actually certified as being organic, where the company has gone through an audit, which is what we have, and it's certified that their production processes are organic, there's no way for the consumer to know that the product is actually organic. So in theory, anyone can say that their product is organic. Olive oil for cooking is fine. We cook with it. My whole family cooks with it. As long as you're not burning it, which is when it smokes, because when you burn an oil, you change the chemical composition of the fats and you can turn good fats into bad fats. In that case, yeah, you don't want to burn an oil. Other than that, it's fantastic to cook with.
Extra virgin olive oil has demonstrated to be the most stable oil when heated. I was led to believe that grapeseed oil or canola oil was more stable, but in actual fact, I was wrong. People who use olive oil have lower obesity rates than those who use other oils in cooking.
There was a study done in the United States and some stuff done in Australia as well that actually directly linked olive oil with and the anti-inflammatory properties of olive oil with benefits for heart health. And that was, for me, that was like a collision of two worlds, because I've spent 35 years working in healthcare and I was the Chief Operating Officer of the Victor Chang Cardiac Research Institute in Sydney for 8 years. And then this article came out talking about the heart health benefits of olive oil, and I went, oh my God, this is kind of bizarre.
Extra virgin olive oil is one of the healthiest oils you can eat. It's loaded with beneficial antioxidants and polyphenols.
Yeah, so olive oil is well regarded in respect of its anti-inflammatory compounds and the benefits of those compounds to your health generally, and specifically to your ticker. So earlier this year, Andrea Cook, our sales and marketing manager, got a couple of phone calls from Choice and couldn't get back to them, wasn't sure about why they were calling. We had absolutely no idea. And so she called them, and unbelievably, they told us that we'd been voted as the #1 olive oil by Choice. And we'd beaten all of the international brands, we'd beaten the other Australian brands. In fact, we were the only oil to get a gold medal. And for it to be purely serendipitous, for us not to know about it, and for Choice to do it that way, literally go to the supermarket shelf, get the oil, and then just call up and say, yeah, you've won #1 oil. It was like, wow, that's just, yeah, it's fantastic. We're really thrilled, and it's a great treat and a great testament to everybody who's just put in so many years worth of work. It's a wonderful thing. It's a family business. It's been, you know, my brother's been in it, I'm in it, Dad's in it. My son loves getting on the bottling line. The nephews and nieces have been involved. My other brother, Andrew, you know, everyone's been involved. We've all done food shows. You know, that's kind of been a pretty cool thing to be involved in. And it's kind of a nice legacy for Dad and Mum as now great-grandparents to see their grandkids, you know, come up to the farm and I guess have the joy of coming to the farm but being involved in producing something that's good. So that, I think that's the best thing.
So in conclusion, steer away from larger companies. Whether buying local or overseas, look for the small boutique olive oil producers. The smaller the producer, usually the better the quality.
I hope this short documentary has brought you some insight into the olive oil industry, and hopefully it will help you in making better buying decisions. Thanks for watching until the end, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.